Hello everyone, Nathan here. In this video I'm going to be going over how to use a script that I kind of came up with, but then what's his name? Blah 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 blah. Donut B, if that's the right way to pronounce it. He pretty much rewrote all my code and made it way better than I had it. In a nutshell, what this script will do is it'll update all of your Minetest mods if you grab them off of Git. So to start with, we have to create a new folder to put those files into. I'm just going to call it Minetest mods. And then we open that folder and we open a terminal. Now this script does require that you have Git installed, obviously, because it uses Git, and it also needs rsync, which you may or may not have. But if you're grabbing this off of Git and you're grabbing the other mods off of Git, there would be absolutely no reason why you wouldn't have Git installed on your system. So we're just going to go into that new folder I just created, git clone, Control-Shift-V to paste the clone URL, hit enter, it'll clone it in there. And now we have Minetest mods updater right here. This script's the script that we're going to end up calling to run the updates. I'm going to grab just a few other mods, so I'm just going to search on GitHub here for Minetest. Let's grab Messcons here, and we're just going to do the same thing. Git clone, Control-Shift-V to paste. It'll clone that. Just jump over to page 5. Okay, I mean, you can pretty much, sure, let's grab beds in the Technic game. And I think I'll grab one more after that. And so pretty much, oops, we're just cloning all of these to local copies. And now we have to have them done this way because the script will basically just issue a pull request for each of these mods. So I'm gonna clone this last one in here, and then we'll minimize that. Okay. I guess Technic game is rather large. Already looking at 8 megabytes, 9 megabytes, 10 megabytes. Wow, I don't even know what this mod is. It says that 4%. Wow, it looks like that's going to take a while. Let's open up a new terminal. Control-Alt-T will open it via the keyboard. And then we're going to... Oh, what am I thinking? And then we will just cd into beds as well. And we'll call the git pull command, which will tell us right here it's already up to date. Which is handy, because that's basically what our script's going to do. So, actually opening that back up. Minetest mods updater. We'll open this in a terminal. And we will call update.sh, and it'll pretty much give us this little help readout telling us path to mods and our destination. Now, in this case, I am going to do my destination to not my actual destination because I don't want to mess up my actual mods in the Minetest game. But to call this script correctly, you do update.sh. Your path to mods is the parent directory that the update script is in. So in this case, home Nathan Minetest underbar mods, and then our destination in a typical install would be I believe that'd be your typical, but I don't, oh actually, what help if it's spelled right? That would be your typical source, or your destination rather, but in this case I don't want to go in there, so I'm just going to do I don't know what folders do I have in here that I can just copy this into without it mattering. Just throw it into this game folder I have because it's not going to hurt anything. Okay, now these actually do need to have a trailing slash on them. The script will be updated shortly to automatically do that, but I don't know if at the moment it is doing that. And see here, it threw my beds, Mescons, mods updater, and the Technic game into this games folder. Now, had I not done the trailing slashes, it would have probably put a copy of the Minetest mods folder into this folder, which would not work for the game. Now, it doesn't throw up an error here, but let me jump back in. You can do renaming too, because like this Minetest mods Mescons, I believe. Actually, that was a bad example because that one doesn't need to be renamed from what I recall. Let me jump over into my actual Minetest mods here. Yeah, Minetest mods Mescons, that stays as is. But there are other ones that do have to be renamed, which actually, let me just pull up the rename script here that's in my actual folder. These are all mods. Wait, Minetest mod Mescons isn't that what I just looked at? Minetest mod Mescons, why did that not? Okay, so this script is running with an error at the moment. Okay, I will get that fixed and make sure I push those updates right away. It's probably just a mistake on my end. But what this script will do, it'll first does the rm command, which is removal. So it'll delete a Mescons folder. So if the script had run properly this morning at 4 AM when the cron job is scheduled to, it would have deleted this folder, and then it would have renamed the Minetest mod Mescons into Mescons. And basically this is just a list of all of your mods that need to be renamed. First it'll delete the old folder in there, because you can't rename, or if you can, I don't know how, rename a folder to a folder that already exists. I tried that and it threw errors at me. So I just said, okay, well if we delete the correct named one, and then rename the incorrect to the correct name, it accomplishes the same thing. There's probably a neater way of doing this, but I am not a wizard by any means when it comes to bash. So I just threw together something quick and dirty. So that is that. There is a sample for that. I included it in the README, I believe. Right here, sample script. You basically just rename that as needed. Or you don't rename it. You create a text document called rename.sh. Make sure you give it executable permissions. And then you just copy and paste these two lines, changing them as needed. The first name in the second line, which is the rename command, is the original name, and then the name you want it renamed to with a space between. And then to set up a cron job with it, Control-Alt-C again to pull up a terminal. Cron tab space -E to edit your cron tab. As you'll notice, I have a few cron jobs here, but the bottom one's the one we want to focus on here. This one basically will call at 4 AM in the morning, and it will run the update script. And you again put your source directory, which is where that script is located, its parent folder, and then the end directory, which would be your mods folder. And then actually I want to change this because I had it setting so you wouldn't get any outputs, but we actually do want the log to be there. And I have in the README, I put the information as to how to get your log up, which I hadn't done, so I'm going to do that right now. And now when that script runs every morning, or whenever you have it configured to run, it'll write a mod.update log to your home directory, so you can see what mods are updated and whatever else the log is outputting, which right now is a lot more than really necessary. I want to kind of go through and clear up your log output, so only outputs which mods were updated. That way, if you suddenly start getting errors, you can look at the log and say, oh, that was just updated. I need to roll back because that update's not working. If you do need more information on how to configure a cron job, I do have a link in here, right to howtoforge.com/a short introduction to cron jobs. They pretty much give you the whole breakdown on the time setup there. And then once you have your cron job written, it's a simple matter of saving, which you just do Control X to exit, yes to save it, accept the name they give it, cron job's installed, and it will automatically run for you. And that is really all there is to it. This job will run, in my case, every day at 4 a.m. It updates, let me actually show you my actual, it updates through all of these mods. Then it, via rsync, copies all of those to Minetest mods, copies everything into here, and then renames as appropriate. And actually, I'm going to do a quick... Whoa, I did not want to do a launcher. I wanted to open the terminal. Okay, so that worked. So I'm not sure why it threw up the error with the cron job. I was fairly certain that I did have a bit in here that was not... I just added some new mods last night. This watering can one being the main one. And if you don't have... I'm fairly certain if you don't have a... Actually, let's just double check this real quick. I'm going to rename this. This is kind of rambling. You can stop watching right now if you're not interested, because I already told you how to use everything. I'm just checking a little something and recording as I do it. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that it'll give you an error. Yes, it cannot rename this. Okay, so if I try running the rename and I haven't just rsynced, I cannot rename all of these folders because obviously they don't exist to rename, but I think it'll still delete them. So I'm going to check if there is a messcons folder. There is not. So it has deleted everything, but it hasn't renamed anything because there's no such things to rename. So you don't really want to run the rename script unless you have just called the other script, which is why the updater script is actually set to automatically do all of that for you. So you don't have to. Theoretically, you should never run the script here by yourself. Just let the parent process call it and run it. Because otherwise, yes, you will be deleting mods that you want. So now I'm going to have to rerun the other one manually. But that's all there is to it. I will catch you guys next time with another mod update, though this one wasn't technically a mod specific thing, because this is not a mod. Oh, yes, one other thing I should point out. This will show up in your Minetest mods, so when you launch Minetest, you will have this. Don't enable it. It is not a Minetest mod, and it will not run. I had another little thing I should throw out. I had a gentleman ask me if there was a way to keep an old mod. Oh, wrong place. If you want to keep an old mod, all you have to do is go into the folder where you are git cloning and updating all of the mods to, and just delete it. And refresh. Or I think you can rename it here as well, though that'll probably throw up an error. So I would be careful of that. But if you delete it from here, obviously it's not going to be copying the newest thing to your Minetest mods folder, because it won't exist to copy. So that is that, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.